What do you got there, BDM?
These are the proverbial books that day one is in.
All right. Well, let's look at it. 455 people have lost on day one. 2 people have not. Who they?
They are 2 people we first met at Pro Tour Honolulu last year. 9th place finisher from Pro Tour Honolulu, Brad Nelson, who has just been on an unbelievable run of tournaments, winning DC, doing well, topping the Nationals. He's 8-0. He's 8-0 here. It's just unbelievable. And top 4 from Pro Tour Honolulu, Conley Woods.
Wow, Mr. Lavalanche from that event.
Right.
That's outstanding. So those 2 will play tomorrow, first thing, in draft part 2, as it were. So they're the only 2 undefeated players. Let's drop down a whole 1 place to 3rd and 4th. We talked about this guy in the preview, Guillaume Wafatapa of France. Played Mystical Teachings, went 5-0 with the blue control deck featuring Mystical Teachings. The winner of Pro Tour Yokohama in 2007, of course. Who's in 4th right now?
So we're going to go again back to Pro Tour Honolulu, where we have Brian Kibler. Brian Kibler has just been on an amazing tear as well. This guy is playing the best Magic of his career,
Absolutely.
A decade and a half into his career.
Yeah, winning Grand Prix Sendai just a few weeks ago on the back of a growing experience with the deck at GP Washington, D.C. And he loves that deck, doesn't he ever? Yeah,
7-1 as well. We did a preview piece where we talked about how wide open this format was and how deck builders had so little information about how to attack the format. That meant you can play anything, and people didn't know what to play. Fascinatingly to me, that as we end day 1 of this event, we have 2 decks in particular that were, really created in the waning hours before the Pro Tour started.
It's something
One literally so.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that Frank Carsten would love because there wasn't enough data, so the data pours in largely from the dealer tables.
And anecdotal data.
Yeah, absolutely. And Conley Woods in particular, will be talking to him tomorrow in depth about his deck.
Right.
But he said, you know what? I can tell from what's going from the dealer tables what the metagame is going to be tomorrow, which was today, and says, and I brewed a midnight special. Half past midnight, he went to bed and he went, yep, I got the metagame sorted. Apparently he has.
Right, and one of the decks that he had a read on was a Dorian deck that a lot of the Channel Fireball guys were audibling to in the last day or so before the event. A deck they really liked. There was a big run on Murmuring Bosks and Treatfolk Harbingers and Dorans, Stroop Waffles.
Stroop Waffle indeed. Remember the preview? Absolutely. Now, 6 and 2, of course, there are a ton of players on 6 and 2. Let's go to Honolulu again, BDM.
Yeah, Paul Reitzel.
So that's 4 in the top 12 here. 4 of the top 8 from last year's Honolulu are in the top dozen overnight here. That's got to say something.
It absolutely does, because if you remember, Pro Tour Honolulu was a block constructed format. And that is a virgin constructed format again. It's uncharted territory. We don't know what decks are going to be good. And these guys went and found the decks. They continually hammered away at the format. They made changes. They kept moving forward. And we see 4 of the players who did well there doing well here in this brand new format.
Okay. Give us a bunch of the big names. We know that you care about the people you know about at home. Obviously, you've got your own favorites, your own friends, your countrymen that you're rooting for. Take us through some of the bigger names, 6 and 2, looking to make progression.
Last year's Player of the Year, Yuya Watanabe. Ben Rubin.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, and just deck design master. Martin Yuza.
Now that's important for him because he is not having a great year, and I asked him at the start of the weekend, I said, look, do you feel under a bit of pressure because it's Pro Tour 3 of 4? He said, look, I want to get to at least level 6. Right now I'm at 17 points, I think it was, and he felt that this was an important weekend for him, really.
Absolutely. I mean, there are not many Pro Tours left after this one.
Yep. Who else? Let's go further afield.
Terry So, an invitational winner.
Yep, absolutely. The Rakdos Augur Mage.
Yes, he is.
What a great card that was. Okay, who else?
He won a PTQ, by the way,
to
get
right,
here.
Okay, nice.
So, and he's making the most of his invitation. Luis Scott Vargas.
He didn't win a PTQ to get here. I can.
No, he hasn't had to win a PTQ in some number of years.
So, no, absolutely. Former Player of the Year, 2006 Player of the Year, Shota Yasuoka, Olivier Ruel.
Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. Now, great home story.
Yeah, getting a special invite to this event was Julian Naughton, 2004 world champion.
He was 8 then when
he was actually 15.
15.
It's not so preposterous that a 15-year-old should be the world champion, is it? It's pretty preposterous.
Yeah, it is pretty preposterous.
But I mean, he's a preposterously talented player. He did not want to waste his invite. He took it very seriously. He prepared for this event. He's doing incredibly well, and he's 6-2.
I will give you one more name from the home team. That is last year's national champion, Kevin Grove. He was part of the national team that made the top 4 at Worlds in Rome, and he is doing nicely at 6-2. A really talented guy, by the way. Very, very smart player.
Yeah, there are a lot of talented 6-2 players here. There's a lot of people with great resumes, even more people that we didn't mention. But no player with a 6-2 record has possibly generated as much buzz this weekend as one player in particular.
Finland's Sami Häggkvist.
Germany's Kai Budde.
Kai Budde, back on day 2 on the Pro Tour. How exciting is that? How did he do in Constructed?
He was 5-0 in Constructed.
Playing.
He dropped exactly 1 game, which, by his own admission, he punted. He's like, I made a mistake. So everyone's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, oh, no. This would have happened, this would have happened, this would have happened, this would have happened.
And what's the deck? What's he playing?
He's playing White Weenie. It's this, very, very targeted deck designed by Gabriel Nassif, another Hall of Famer, who's also, doing pretty well this weekend. And it was just a great deck. He went 5-0, lost 1 game. He's 6-2 right now. He's going to sit down to draft, and then he gets to play 5 more rounds of Constructed.
Well, Kai Budde, Conley Woods, Brad Nelson, Guillaume Waffatapa, Brian Kibler, Paul Wright, so you know, Kevin Grove, Ben Rubin, Martin Hughes. I give up. We're coming back tomorrow. Make sure you do too. For the Pro Tour historian Brian David-Marshall, I'm the Pro Tour statistician Rich Hagan saying bye.